awakening. You are the Lord of the earth and the planets. Thank you. As Rotarians, help us to participate in the resurgence of the spring and helping us to make the environment better. Help us to reach out to others, family, community, and the world. Thank you for walking with us. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States.
Thank you, Wynn. President-elect Teresa Russell, if you would please introduce any visiting Rotarians or guests.
Don't see anything on Zoom.
Oh, we do have a visiting Rotarian.
Okay.
Daniel Stevenson, are you with us? Can you remind us what club you're from? Is it the Club of Delaware? Yes. Well, welcome. Let's give him the one clap. Welcome. 1, 2, 3.
One more, right?
That was better. Thanks, Daniel.
And then
Excellent.
For your daughter.
All right, moving right into announcements. If you have announcements, please make your way this way. What happened to Jim? There it is. Don? All right. Start us off.
Okay, Community Service Committee will be meeting next Monday, the 15th at 6:30 p.m. at Courtney Chapman's home. And Courtney's also going to take the owl with him today, so that we'll be able to do that as we have often recently remotely for those of you that want to participate but can't be there in person. And we'll send out the Zoom information shortly. Thank you.
Do you need any new members?
I'm sorry?
Do you need any new members to that?
Absolutely. Yeah, if you're interested in becoming a member of the Community Service Committee, you can come to Courtney's house, or you can email me and I'll send you the information on how to become a member, which is very simple. You show up at the meetings. Thank you.
Thanks, Don.
Yes, as hopefully you're well aware, we do have the sponsorship drawing in 2 weeks. And it will be an assembly also for the club. And we've, of course, reduced that sponsorship drawing to only $100 per member. So I expect that some of you may be able to afford buying extra tickets, and those are also available on the spreadsheet for that drawing. If you're having any trouble with getting on the spreadsheet and entering names, let me know. You do not have to do it if you're buying all of your own tickets. Your name will just be filled in across the line. So, and so if you have also any questions, please call me. Thank you.
I'm here again today to seek participation in the NGSE study exchange. We are doing this with Romania, and we're looking for students or participants and a leader. And that's going to happen in September. We would like to be looking for interviews in late May, June. So we'd like you guys to see who on your staff or who in the community might like to travel to Romania and exchange in a 2-week program. And they're sending a team of 5 or 6 to our team. So please get in touch with me or where's Steve or Dave Hanson.
How much is it going to cost?
Oh, there is no cost. We provide the airline, and when we get over there, the Romanians do a lot of sponsoring, and so the only money you need to take would be anything you wanted to bring back, a gift or something like that. Thank you, Dave.
So it's a 2-week free working vacation?
Yes.
Huh.
But they will run you. You'll be going at 7 in the morning, and certain nights you'll be going over that 2 weeks, meeting with Romanians and seeing Dracula's castle or other places like that. It's wonderful, it's packed, and Romania is a fantastic country to visit.
Thank you, Wynn. Mr. Farmer.
So speaking of cultural exchanges, this past Sunday, from noon till 2, a group of 15 Moroccans were passing through town, and we treated them to lunch at my house, courtesy of the International Committee. And it was a great experience for all of us. There were 15 of them, and 10 club members showed up. So I just want to let you know that that went well, and I survived.
What Rotary clubs were they, Jim?
They were primarily from Rotary clubs in the Casablanca and Rabat areas of Morocco. So we have a list of people and some contacts that I know I'm going to be in touch with a few of them. So perhaps in the future we may even get some projects going with them. We'll see. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, other announcements. We are still trying to eradicate polio from the world. Can you believe that? Right now, we have 23, to my count, of our 75 members that qualify for 125 club pins. As a reminder, that's $100 to the Rotary International Foundation and then $25 to polio. If you still want to participate this fiscal year, you have time. See me or Jennifer, and we'll make it as easy as possible. Also, you should have gotten an email from me last Friday about the companion club meeting that we're holding May 22nd. It's a Monday from 5 to 5:45 p.m. on Zoom. It should be a quick 30-minute meeting with hopefully 15 minutes for questions, and then we'll get people out. Right now, we have 7 people registered that are interested in learning more about potentially joining Rotary as a companion club member, and we're hoping to get a lot more. I have offered personally that for up to 25 people that join the meeting, I will donate $5 to Polio Plus. And that would be it's $10 per person, and that would be $250 total. As you guys should know, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation will match those donations 2 to 1, so that could be a $750 contribution to Polio Plus. That same week, May 24th, we're going to have our club assembly. It's critical that we get as much participation from club members as possible. We're going to be talking about the future of our club. I've got a list of questions that I'm generating that I will send out in advance. Might be in the form of a survey, but it should be a good focused 1-hour discussion about what we want out of Rotary, what it means to be in Rotary, what we want out of our club, to help set Teresa up in our club for the future coming in July. Boy, May is just packed full of stuff. So May 31st, 5th Wednesday of May, we're having a rah-rah, and instead of going to a bar or some other place, we're going to have it at Court Chapman's house. He and Barb are opening up their house to us. Sounds like there's going to be some structured activity. It should be fun. It is May 31st from 6 to 8. We'll send more details as we get closer. What else do we got? Oh, and as always, if you have news that you want to share with the club or social media, please send it to pr@dublinworthingtonrotary.org, and we'll make sure it gets into Facebook and our newsletter. All right, now we are ready for our sergeant, Mr. Mike Mullen.
All right. Well, yeah.
Okay. Whose phone just rang just a minute ago when they were making the announcements? I heard it over here.
It's a 4-way test issue,
Come
guys.
on.
Come on.
Come up here and get the pot, and you get to walk around. Is that you? Is that your phone, Roger? Is that your phone? I heard somebody over here turned the phone. Answer the phone call.
It wasn't my phone, but I'll do the time. Don't blame us.
All right.
Happy yours.
Yeah, we'll get those first. Teresa's gonna come around and get your happy dollars. I'm happy to see all of them. I'm not paying dollars for that. Happy dollars out here. Nobody's happy? Okay, Cass is always happy.
Putting in two happy dollars. One is to buy hearing aids for you. Because nobody's phone went off.
Oh, wait a minute, Teresa. Teresa, she was sitting right next to me when your phone went off.
Well, Roe needs hearing aids.
So put in an extra $1 just for trying to argue, sorry.
Okay, I put this down because Saturday, our granddaughter graduated from Embry-Riddle in Arizona with a degree in cybersecurity. So now I can take all the, the firewalls off my computer.
Any other happy dollars? There's got one back there.
I've got one. Our son's gonna be graduating from Thomas Worthington here pretty soon, and we thought we were done congratulating him for his achievements until the party, but he was elected prom king.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Any other happy dollars? Steve's got one.
Last Friday, I was able to get out to Wilson Road Golf Course with Dave Hansen, Jim Farmer, and Win Wixel. And for the first time, I didn't lose a single golf ball.
Wow. I think that was golf about $3. That should be an extra $1. All right, I saw some people in here wearing suspenders today. I didn't get the memo that they were suspenders today. So get these folks over here got suspended on without letting anybody else know that was the dress code for the day. Ken Carey, thank you for making the announcement last week on the golf outing. That's part of the program today, so that's why I did not make an announcement. If anybody else wants to get signed up for the golf outing, raise your hand, see me, email me, text me. Don't text me, get a very text today. Whatever, call me. All right. With that, we'll get started here. This first table. This is all related to this trophy, which is 31, 32 years old. I can't remember that far back. How many Rotarians have won this golf outing multiple times besides John Jacobs and Ken Carey?
0.
3?
0.
I think it is 3. So, but you're not at that table, so get $2 in that table over there. Gotta get it done. Oh, it's right here. He's blurting out the answers over here. Okay, who won? Who was the let's stay over here, Jerry. Who was the first year's winner of this every year event? What was their name?
Yeah, John Jacob.
No, that had to be one of the few John Jacob did not win. That was Stan Bahoric, 1991, first year for the show. Ken Carey's group back there. Ken's played the numbers, won a few times. Who was the only female Rotarian to win this trophy? BJ did play in the tournament, however, she did not win. Cindy Kramer. Cindy Kramer was the winner of that particular year. Gord Chapman's table. All right, got it. How many times has John Jacob won this trophy over the 32 years?
Too many.
Too many would be the correct. It would be a good answer, but not the correct answer. Any 32 years, how many times do you think he's won?
6.
How about 16?
Oh.
You were close. You were close. All right, get Jennifer's table here. How many non-Rotarians, Jennifer, how many non-Rotarians have won this road?
Three.
The answer is 0. You can't win this trophy unless you're a member of our club. We do, but they can't win the trophy. They can win the prizes, they cannot win the trophy. So, okay, last table back here in the corner. And everybody online, $2. I'm just charging everybody $2. I know nobody can get it. Just name 2 of the first 4 people who won this trophy. What do you got?
Our answer is John Jacob and Ken Terry.
No, I already gave you one of the answers. On the first one. Just put out there. So you are incorrect. Ken Terry didn't join until a few years later. Anyways, those 4 members were Stan Horick, Sam Milliron, Jerry Hanley, and John Jacob. Thanks, everybody. All right.
Keeping this train rolling, we got a special presentation from Nicole Russell that Teresa was here.
Hello, everybody. I want to introduce you to my daughter, Nicole Russell, and she's going to talk about fundraising and sales. Hello, everyone. But sorry, I'm a little bit taller than everybody here. All right, so I'm Nicole Russell, and I'm a senior in high school at Worthington Liberty, and my mom brought me here today to talk about fundraising. Me and 3 of my peers at the high school level were able to raise $31,000 at one event over the course of 5 weeks. I am in a club called DECA, which is a marketing club through our high school, and we compete at the state and international level against other high school kids across the world. And so I wanted to talk about our event. We hosted a father-daughter dance in February. We were able to earn a revenue of $31,000, as I mentioned, and bring in a profit of $26,000. And so we started in October with planning our DJ and our photo booth, and really just kind of getting everything set up so it would make it easier in January and February when we really had to market hard. So I'm mostly here to talk about the marketing piece because obviously I want to follow in my mother's footsteps and work in marketing and something business related. And so we sent out invitations to 5 of our local elementary schools that would feed into the high school. And also we were able to market to 8 of our local daycares in Powell, Ohio, as well as Post on the Powell, which is very successful in bringing in marketing leads with over 16,000 members. So for our event, we charged $65 a piece for a couple, which is a father and a daughter. That was in advance, and we planned on selling tickets at the door as well, but we were able to sell out 2 weeks before our event, having over 1,000 attendees. And I don't know if anybody here is familiar with Ryan Day, the head football coach at Ohio State. He and his daughter attended our event with their friend group. And so that was pretty exciting to see just how far our marketing outreach could go, because he is not a member of the Powell community anymore, but his daughter's friends still live in the Powell area. We were also able to, at the dance, have a raffle where we raffled off an American Girl doll. And I know everybody here is familiar with the Rotary raffles. I know that there was a bourbon raffle recently that I did not participate in. But we were able to earn $3,000 raffling off an American Girl doll. And that was the hot prize that every little elementary school aged girl was excited to join into. She convinced her daughter or her dad to buy as many as we had to buy 21 tickets, and we charged $5 a piece for the ticket. So I don't know, my dad never entered that many times, but So in February, our dance was from 6 to 8. We started opening the doors at 5:30, but of course we had a line out the door already before we could even get everyone in. So I would love to open it up to some questions if you have questions about the event or how we were able to raise that $31,000.
I got a question. Yeah. Where'd you come up with the idea? So our DECA chapter has had the father-daughter dance in past years, and the profit was just around $10,000 in the previous years. And so we really wanted to do it bigger and better this year because it was the first year back after a 2-year hiatus because of COVID.
So I think you already answered the question, but what did the money, how was the money used?
So it went towards our DECA fees. So we have to pay in order to participate in those state and international competitions. This past April, I was down in Orlando competing against, I think it was 8 different countries, and we ended up simply top 16 in the world. Yes.
Oh, you said it's a marketing club, right?
Yes.
I wonder if you could share with us the definition that you use for marketing.
So we really focus on 4 different things. It's your demographic, your outreach. Oh my goodness, my teacher would be so mad that I don't remember everything. I'm just focused on graduating, but trying to get through these last finals, but it's our demographic, our outreach, how many people you're able to bring into your event, as well as your monetary goal.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Nicole. This was awesome. That doesn't give you hope about, you know, the future do-gooders in the world and inspire you. I don't know what will. So that's amazing. Congratulations, Nicole. It's awesome. All right, now I think we're right on schedule for our speaker. Greg, if you would introduce, please.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen of Rotary, I'd like to introduce David Polakowski, who is the Executive Director of the Harding Bowler Foundation of Worthington. He is a native of the Cleveland area and a graduate of the Maxine Levin College of Urban Affairs at Cleveland State University. David brings with him nearly 30 years of nonprofit and public health experience with serving as the president and CEO of the Tri-Village Chamber from January 2020 to September 2022, an executive director of the Downtown Paynesville organization from January 2015 to December 2019. David's skills and experiences include networking, fundraising, fiscal management, cross-functional leadership, program development and improvement, as well as quality initiatives. He is an initiative-taking visionary, mission-driven, visionary leader known for the ability to win local support by developing key coalitions and crucial relationships with a shared sense of purpose. Executive and board members have praised him for reversing negative cash flow, right-sizing programs, elevating morale, and creating and maintaining a welcoming and inclusive environment that stimulates creative thinking and collaboration. David currently lives in Galloway with his husband and partner of 44 years, John. John and David love to travel and experience new adventures. With their most recent excursion to Panama City, Panama, touring the city and the Panama Canal. He has 2 children, Van, married to Sarah, and Anthony, who is engaged to Brooke. In 2022, he became a grandpa for the first time to Adeline Harper Polakowski. Ladies and gentlemen, David Polakowski.
Nicole, I'd say congratulations, and you have a career in nonprofit if that is something you're looking forward to. We're always looking for good fundraisers, so congratulations on that. as Greg said, I'm the executive director of the Harding Bowler Foundation of Worthington. Has anybody ever heard of us? Oh, that's unusual because I started my position in September, and coming from a chamber, of course, connected with the executive director here at the chamber, said, I'm leaving chamber world. And he said, where are you going? I said, Worthington. And he said, to who? And I said, the foundation. And he said, why have I never heard of you? Oh, okay, sorry, better? My voice tends to carry. So this is a different adventure for me in the fact that I've never worked for a foundation. I was hired to bring structure, to bring community awareness, and just create a future and sustainable programming down the road. So if you look at the screen, you are officially seeing our new logo. The board approved it on Sunday. That was one of our challenge. Our tagline is legacy empowering holistic health today. There we go. So in order for you to understand who we are today, I need to go back briefly. I'm dealing with 160 years of history. The Harding family, Harding Hospital, Worthington Foods, and the Church Corporation. So this all started back in the late 1800s with George Tryon Harding, the first MD, and his wife, Phoebe. Hardings were originally Baptists. Phoebe was a Methodist. She didn't believe in being baptized, fully immersed. She went to a church meeting for the Seventh-day Adventists, came back to her husband and said there must be something right about being fully immersed. They then switched to the Seventh-day Adventist. At that time, they also started following this little new Sanitas food created by the Kellogg brothers, which eventually became Kellogg today. Because Seventh-day Adventists are about wellness, nutrition, health, encouraging being a vegetarian. I am not a Seventh-day Adventist. I am not a vegetarian. So this has all been a new adventure. But most important to point out is George I and Phoebe had 6 or 7 kids, 2 of which died early. George Tryon Harding II, MD, Dr. Harding II, was the brother of President Harding. So we're dealing with George II's bloodline. The Harding Hospital was started in 1916 at Indianola and 18th Avenue, moved to Hartman Farms after his wife, Elsie, decided that there was too much to have the hospital within their own home. So from Hartman's Farms in 1919, they purchased the 47 acres where Boundless is now. So I don't know how familiar anybody remembers. There is a historical marker out there where the hospital was. So they purchased property from Foster Brewing family. And my favorite description was it was a half-day carriage ride from Columbus. So if you imagine back in 1919, going from Columbus, Ohio to Worthington, Ohio, you were about an 8 to 12 hour journey. So in 1920, the hospital officially opened. And the picture there is of President Harding in the center. To his right, their dad, George I, and then to his right is George II. The hospital was originally called Indianola Rest Home, Columbus Rest Home then. Dr. Harding II didn't feel that it was a great idea to have something named after yourself at the time, so he's a little humble about things. In 1934, Dr. George II passed, and George III took over. So I am dealing with royalty, because we have George I, George II, George III, and George IV, who passed away last summer. In 1925, the Hardings built a home at 430 East Dublin Granville Road. So it is on the northwest corner across the street from where Harding Hospital used to be. Most people don't know it's there. So when you go down and you get stopped at Proprietors right before the light, the house is there. That's where my office is. In 1927, George III and his wife, Mary Virginia, moved into the house. Mary Virginia Woolley was very a large part of getting the Worthington Garden Club started. She hosted meetings at the house in the late 20s and then was president of the board from 1933 to 1935. And I know somebody back there was talking about Alan Buller. There we go. And this just continues showing you the bloodline. When throughout the time with Harding Hospital, they were purchasing food from Sanitas, the Kellogg brothers. In 1939, it became a little too expensive. So to travel from Michigan down here, they were located at the Battle Creek Sanitarium in Michigan, Battle Creek, Michigan. Dr. George III sat with his leadership team and started discussing, and in 1939 created Special Foods. In the early 40s, they moved to proprietors where they purchased a house and moved the house down the road. Eventually that became known as Worthington Foods. So Harding Hospital, as I said, was started in 1916. Their belief, importance of therapeutic environment, healthy living as taught by the SDA, psychodynamic understanding of the mind and treatment of illness. So you had your typical medical treatments. Harding Hospital was a trailblazer in that they had art therapy, music therapy, horticulture therapy as part of their treatment. Dr. George Harding IV came along and carried on the tradition. He worked closely with his dad, George III. So one of my favorite stories in the late 70s, there was a gentleman named Billy Milligan. He was arrested as a serial rapist. He was brought to Harding Hospital. Dr. Harding really needed that second opinion. As anybody remember the book and movie Sybil? Dr. Cornelia Wilbur, she came, and with her help, they identified 10 initial personalities. There is a documentary on Netflix called Monster Inside, the 24 personalities of Billy Milligan. If you are interested in that, please watch. Dr. George is in there talking about the treatment, and you will see video of Billy and Cornelia. It's a very interesting aspect. We have two pieces. Billy was an artist. We have two pieces of his artwork at the house. I call it my museum. So it's just an interesting aspect of who we are. So this gives you an idea of where we are, if you guys hear me okay. So here is East Dublin Granville Road. Our house is here, Worthington Foods, and this what is the 47 acres that was Harding Hospital in Boundless. As I said, it started in 1939, Special Foods. Alan Buller, I heard somebody mention his name. So Alan was recruited by a friend of his who worked here at Special Foods. Alan was in the war during that time. He received letters from Jim Hagel recruiting him to come back to Worthington. And before he made any other decisions, he came, he went back to Utah with his wife and then came back and never left Worthington. Alan's training, he worked under one of the Kellogg brothers at the Battle Creek Sanitarium in Miami, Florida. During the 70s, Worthington Foods was purchased by Ma's Laboratory, and Alan became the highest ranking official during that time. And that was the time where this little product line of Morningstar Farms, the vegetarian product line, was actually started at Worthington Foods. In the late 80s, Miles Lab was bought by Bayer. Bayer decided they weren't going to keep the food division. Alan, at that time, got wind of it, came back to the leadership team here, and they purchased it back for $8 to $9 million. We're going to jump to the 90s. OSU Medical Center began a partnership with Harding Hospital. In 1999, officially took over the hospital, which in the early 2000s was moved to the main campus, and that's where it is still today as the Harding Hospital. Worthington Foods was at a point in the late 90s that they weren't getting the staff and employees they needed. Kellogg became very interested in them, and in 1999, again, they purchased Worthington Foods for $309 million. The plant, the original plant here in Worthington is now Kemper House Memory Care. And the second plant that was built in Zanesville is still owned by Kellogg today. Here's the Buller family. Alan's wife was Mickey. And we'll get into how we got to the foundation today. So the foundation actually started in 1959 as the Harding Evans Foundation. Dr. Evans, Harrison Evans, was George III's brother-in-law. They started the foundation to meet the unmet mental health needs throughout Central Ohio. They also were providing funding to assist medical staff at the hospital in training. Here you see our founders. In 2006, we officially became the Harding Heritage Foundation. And then in 2018, we became the Harding Buller Foundation. This is when we took on the church corporation. So for those of you that don't know, the Seventh-day Adventist Church was started here in Worthington by the Harding family. It is still to this day one of the strongest church of the Ohio Conference in the state. They, back in the late 30s, when they were starting the church and they were building a school, they needed additional funds. The Harding family went to the Ohio Conference and asked permission to create this church corporation as a fundraising arm, and that was granted. And they are only one of two in the entire history of the Ohio Conference that were allowed to do this. So this was separately outside. I grew up Catholic, so I compare it to the fact that the Seventh-day Adventist Church is very much like the Catholic Church. All the properties are owned by the church. So this was a very unique situation that they were allowed to do to build. So when you look at this just gives you an idea. And I'm going to look close, so hopefully you can hear me. 42% of high school students felt sad, hopeless. In 21, 60% of female students experienced persistent feelings of sadness. In 21, 16% of high school students were electronically bullied, including through text, Instagram, and social media. In 21, 61% of high school students felt a sense of school connectedness, measured by agreeing or strongly agreeing. So when you look at this whole aspect, COVID did a number on our students. COVID did a number on all of our mental health. I think it took us back several years to all the successes that we had achieved through mental health. And I think it's just something that we will be facing for the next several years and on. There are several stories you will see on the news about mental health. One of the saddest recently is about the student who committed suicide at Logan High School because he was being bullied. So we, as this generation, need to work with the generations below us to help better our presentation, connectivity with our friends and family. We lost a lot of connectivity. We lost the ability to communicate. And I'm doing my best to get away from Zoom as much as possible because the in-person really brings us back to connecting. So when you think about what affects our mental health, you're seeing words, categories, areas, and I'm going to tell you this isn't all inclusive. It's just an opportunity to sit and think as to where we are as a society of the mental health issues that we have within Central Ohio. Last month, I held a meeting with mental health professionals, and it was the first time that the foundation had ever done this. We identified areas of concern, and one of the main areas consistently discussed was community. We need to come back to community. We need to bring back together ourselves in working together. Our mission to honor our legacy by empowering individuals to live a spiritual, holistic, and healthy lifestyle. When you look at the spiritual aspect, if I asked you what spiritual meant to you today, I'm sure we would have a variety, a broad spectrum. Spiritual to me is what's inside, how you feel, how things make you feel. You know, when we talk about what we're moving forward towards, our programming is going to be about your whole self. So when you look at your whole self, what affects it? What's positive about it? And that's the direction that we're going to go with this foundation. Why give? We're trusted. We have a history. We're well established. We have a history. We have professionals that work. I have a board of 13. We work with financial planners to invest in our future. If anybody is familiar with Griswold Street, we currently own, and I'm gonna look at Greg. Greg's our realtor. That's how we got to connect. We own currently 11 properties that we will be selling off. This is how the foundation has succeeded. Part of my goals are to look at funding streams and getting individuals to invest in this organization. Purposeful voices, community, commitment. You have a board, I'm building volunteers. We're all committed to ensuring that this investment into mental health is a positive, enlightening way. Mindful, creating greater awareness and attention. So the other task when I started is we didn't have specific funds that we were raising for our mission. So we have an unrestricted fund, of course, which allows us to use the dollars we raise as we see fit towards the mission. You have the George T. Harding, the fourth fund, which is our mental health fund, focusing on exactly that, those organizations, small nonprofits that provide services that affect individuals and helping them to improve their quality of life, healthy lifestyle, mental health. You have the Alan and Mickey Buller Fund, which is our wellness, nutritional and mental health. So when you look at the whole aspect of a healthy lifestyle, we all know that nutrition, activity, mindfulness, meditation, interaction really is a positive way. The Harding House Preservation Fund, which is to hopefully one day get the Harding House on the National Registry of Historic Places. And the other fund I am working to create, and we have created, is the Mary Virginia Woolley Harding Horticulture Fund. The plan is to turn, we have 4 city lots that the house sits on, and our plan is to turn the site into a horticulture therapy site. Again, your whole self. What does that mean? You know, holistic living. Everybody has a different way of thinking. Self-care, which is the most important. You have to take care of yourself first to move forward. Nutrition. All of these tie into that healthy lifestyle and what suits your life. We're not forcing people to become Seventh-day Adventists. We're not forcing people to become vegetarians. But what we're trying to do is educate the public and encourage them to live a healthier lifestyle and change the way our mental health is in this country, especially here locally in Central Ohio. So this is a creed that was at the employee entrance that they were to read every day they came in. Reverently do I pledge myself to the wholehearted service of those whose care is entrusted to this hospital. To that end, I will ever strive for the skill and the fulfillment of my duties, holding secret whatsoever I may learn touching upon the lives of the sick. I acknowledge the dignity of the cure of disease and the safeguarding of health in which no act is menial or inglorious. I will walk in an upright, faithful, and obedience to those under whose guidance I am to work, and I pray for patience, kindness, and understanding in the holy ministry to broken bodies. Harding Hospital, Harding's, Buller's, Worthington Foods, they were all there to support positive mental health, healthy lifestyle. And that's what I'm here to do, continuing. And this is the second time, I don't think I mentioned, I'm a Rotarian with the Tri-Village Rotary. And they were my first victims, and I have been honored to share my story and the story of Harding Buller Foundation with you. Are there any questions?
How do you get from who? Do you get counselors, hospitals? Who feeds you the clients that you're working with?
So we don't actually work with clients, and that's one of the things I should back up and say. So we provide grants. So we provide small grants to smaller nonprofits, and the Worthington Resource Pantry is a big partner of ours. They received $5,000 grant. So they had, DoorDash was delivering for free, and they stopped doing that, and we're charging the nonprofits and food pantries $5 each for every delivery. So we provided $5,000 to them for a gap, to fill that gap. And then the Events Academy, which is at the end of Griswold, did a food fight. They've done it, I'm not sure, I know for sure it's been several years, but they collected food, and for every pound of food that they collected, we matched it $1. So this year they collected $55 or 5,500 pounds, and we're donating $5,500 towards that. The other, the board had voted up to 15,000. The remaining funds will go to a food drive that they're doing this summer, so we'll match that. So they will get 15,000. We have provided to the Cancer Community Support Center. They work with individuals battling cancer, survivors, and those affected. They provide mindfulness, healthy cooking, wellness activities. We provided funding to the Final Third Foundation, which is a soccer organization and has an environmental program. They work with their players, teaching them how to grow healthy food. And lastly, this year we donated $5,000 to Linworth Alternative School for their program that they are working with students to create gardens. They will bring a chef in to come in to teach them healthy cooking, and then they will take their produce to the farmers market and sell it.
Younger members here may not know that Alan Buller was a member of this club for many years.
I did not know either. Thank you.
Thank you for coming today, David. I'm fascinated to hear the history and the linkage with the Seventh-day Adventist Church. I mean, they're neighbors, of course. We've been by many times. Never made the connection, not shocking, but really fascinating. And as our fellow Rotarian, I'm struck by the Pledge and Creed's perhaps comparison to the four-way test. Do you have any idea when that was instituted?
I'm going to guess early on, just knowing the history that I've learned of the Harding family and the Bullers and Harding Hospital. I'm going to guess as soon as this was open in 1920 officially that this was there.
I'll just add that actually Allen was a charter member of this club. So that dates to 1974. And of course, I have a picture of him, so if you ever want to see it, right there.
So, and it's interesting because I believe I have seen that picture before. If anybody is interested, the Harding House, I call it, like I said, I call it my museum. In 2014, they hired an archivist to go through all the historical items from Harding Hospital, Worthington Foods, Harding family, Buller family. So I kind of have my own museum set up in the house. If anybody is ever interested, please let me know, connect me. Everybody knows how to get over me. It's a great experience in the story itself.
David, thank you very much for speaking.
Thank you.
Today. Gary, I'm almost afraid to ask why you have that on your person, that picture.
Because I'm a Rotarian, doesn't everybody have it?
Yeah. All right. Miss Romaro, how much do we have in the raffle? 44. Oh, wow. It's big money.
Last four, 9561.
9561. Jerry.
On a roll now.
Yeah.
Probably Jerry. Why not?
How much do you need space?
126.
126.
9554.
9554. Come on.
Okay.
He said it. I'm going. This is spade.
It's a spade.
Oh, good. That's my plan. All right, folks, it's that time. 12:59. It's time to recite the four-way test. We'll do it in order today. Keep it simple.
Hey, Steve.
Yes, Ken.
I have a very short, humorous part of a hospital story if anybody wants to hear it. Lifelong friend, his family lived in Rush Creek until they moved closer to Worthington High School. At age 4, he ran away from home one day, was found in the lunch line at Harding Hospital. We've been trying to convince him ever since you should have stayed.
Fantastic. All right, let's get everybody out of here. Of the things we think, say, and do, first, second,
concern,
third,
goodwill and better friendship. Concerned.
please remember to turn your cell phones back on, put your batteries back in the box, and just have a great back page. We are adjourned.